Did you know that 80% of the results in your life come from just 20% of your efforts? It sounds unbelievable, but this is the essence of the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. Imagine this. 80% of Apple AS revenue comes from 20% of their key products, like the iPhone and MacBook. 80% of Amazon's profits come from 20% of their best-selling items, and 80% of stress or failures in your life come from 20% of your worst decisions. This magical 80-20 ratio influences almost every aspect of life, and if you apply it correctly, you can achieve 4 times the results with the same effort. So why do we often feel busy, yet see so little progress? Because we were spending too much time on the 80% of low-value tasks and ignoring the 20% that produces 80% of the results. In this video, I am going to show you how to apply the 80-20 rule to optimize your life and help you become the top 1% version of yourself. Watch till the end, because every minute you skip is a missed opportunity. The 80-20 principle was discovered by Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto in the early 20th century. He noticed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. From this observation, the principle expanded. 80% of results come from 20% of causes, and 20% of effort creates 80% of the outcomes. This principle applies to every area of life: work, learning, finances, relationships, health, even leisure and hobbies. Most people work hard but see low results because they don't focus on what truly matters. The 80-20 rule helps you focus on less but more effective, reduce wasted time, energy, and money, and generate the biggest impact from the smallest effort. Let's start with time management. Do you feel busy all day but accomplish very little? The secret is to identify the 20% of tasks that matter most, do them first, and reduce or delegate the remaining 80%. A real-life example in the U.S. A Silicon Valley office worker might spend the entire morning answering emails and attending meetings, but only 20% of the projects actually drive 80% of the results. By focusing on these key projects, productivity skyrockets. Or think about American students preparing for the SAT or GRE. Focusing on the 20% of topics that appear most frequently in the test, instead of studying everything blindly, produces far better results. Next, let's talk about financial optimization. Uncontrolled spending can make money disappear without producing results. Using the 80-20 rule, only 20% of expenses provide 80% of real value. Invest more in areas with long-term benefits and reduce unnecessary spending. For example, Warren Buffett once said, "Focus on a few things and do them really well." A typical American family might spend 80% of their income on basic needs, but the remaining 20% could go toward high-value experiences like travel, learning, and health insurance, producing the most happiness and long-term value. Relationships can also be optimized with the 80-20 rule. Most of us spend too much time on relationships that don't matter. The key is to identify the 20% of people who truly matter, dedicate quality time to them, and limit toxic or draining relationships. Steve Jobs once said, "Focus is about saying no to things that don't matter." A busy American professional might prioritize 20% of close friends and family, attending meaningful gatherings and ignoring shallow social engagements that waste time. In learning and personal development, the 80-20 rule helps you study more efficiently. Randomly learning everything wastes time. Focus on the 20% of knowledge or skills that produce 80% of the results. For instance, to master English, learn the 20% of the most commonly used vocabulary to understand 80% of daily conversations. To succeed in marketing, focus on the 20% of strategies that generate 80% of revenue, like email marketing and effective social media content. Ivy League schools also design core courses that help students focus on 20% of the content that delivers the biggest academic and career results. Health and fitness also follow the 80-20 rule. You can work out a lot, but see little progress if you don't focus on the right exercises. Concentrate on the 20% of exercises that produce 80% of results. At American gyms, trainers often emphasize compound movements like squats, deadlifts, and bench presses. Just 4 to 5 key exercises that build muscle and burn fat far more effectively than a long list of smaller exercises. Diet works the same way. Focusing on the 20% of nutrient-rich foods can improve 80% of your overall health instead of following random fad diets. When applying 80-20, keep some important points in mind. First, don't follow it mechanically. It's a guide, not a fixed number. Second, identify the correct 20% of priorities. Choosing the wrong focus leads to failure. Third, invest your time and energy into your priorities, your work, learning, health, mindset, and emotions. Finally, eliminate, delegate, or automate the remaining 80% so you can fully focus on what truly matters. The 80-20 rule is not just a strategy, it's a smarter way of living, allowing you to achieve extraordinary results across every area of life. To get started, you can follow a 30-day life optimization plan using the 80-20 rule. Week 1. Analyze all your work, spending, and relationships to identify the 20% that matters most. Week 2. Focus and eliminate. Optimize your work, delegate, or reduce the rest. Week 3. Increase value. Invest your energy in learning, health, and personal growth so 20% of your effort generates 80% of the results. Week 4. Review and consolidate. Assess progress, adjust strategies, and solidify results to become the best 1% version of yourself. Just following these 4 weeks, you will see your life change dramatically and results skyrocket. Now is the time to take action. Identify the 20% that matters most in your work, learning, finances, relationships, and health, and give it your full focus. If this video inspired you, hit subscribe, share this video with friends or colleagues. Anyone who wants to optimize their life and achieve faster success. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Which area will you apply the 80-20 rule first? Share your plans, discuss your experiences, and let's create extraordinary results together. Remember, 80-20 is not a secret. It's a smarter way to live, and you can become the top 1% version of yourself. Are you ready?